Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and we're designing techtips.com. Well, we got a great fun one for you today. If I roll down this page, we've got three little sections there: location, facts and information. Now this is based on yesterday's. We slide up to the top here and they start to disappear outside the screen. We've got three little buttons are going to appear on the left hand side there. They're going to stay there all the way down the rest of the screen. But if you want to go instantly back to that particular section, the information, FAQs or location, just click on one of these buttons. It'll take you straight back up there and they can do their thing. And obviously, go back down, it's going to do the same thing again. Really nice little thing to have on your site, little interactive element, especially if you want to get people back to signing a form or whatever it is you need to get them to do. No coding involved in this today at all. Really easy to do, so let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Once enabled, let's roll down to where we want to work. And we'll get rid of this, we'll start from scratch. Okay, the first thing we want to do is create the section that we want people to go to. So click on any section. Hit the little blue button to add a new section. I'm going to use a regular section for mine today. And of course you can build anything you want. I'm going to throw three little columns in here. Let's throw a call to action in there perhaps. And we had location. And we said sign up today. Obviously whatever it is you want to say. Can't see a button, you won't see that until we actually put a link in for the button. I'll leave the generic stuff right there as I've not got any real text to put in there. In the link, let's just put in a button link right here. I'll put a hashtag for a placeholder. Once you put that in there, the button will turn up like this. And I've spelled today completely wrong, obviously. Let's just correct that. I'm going to go over to my design now. I'm going to turn that text dark. I'm going to go in my heading text by hitting the paintbrush next to it. Take you straight to the design for your heading right there. Let's make it uppercase. Make it semi-bold. I'm not going to change the font. Of course, if you want to change the font, you can do it up here where it says default. Just roll over a font. It'll give you an example of that font. Like I say, I'm going to keep my default for mine today. Fantastic. And let's make that the generic blue there. Great. Well, let's lose that background. Background's always under content. We're just hitting the trash can. And we'll make that button slightly more interesting by going to design, down to button. Hit the little switch, use custom styles for button. All I'm going to do is I'll turn my text white. It's going to disappear into the background there. I'm going to add a background color. Again, I'll use that same blue. Not going to have any border on there. At the moment, there's a 2-pixel white border on there. I'm going to take that one away. All I'm going to do now is go into the lettering itself. Again, I don't want to change the font, but I will make it uppercase. And I don't care if there's an icon or not. Great. You know, the thing, I'll just give it a quick hover color on the button there so they know something's going to happen. We go back up to the button background here. Common to all Divi modules, if you roll over the dark writing, you'll see some little icons appear. If there's a little arrow, we can create a hover effect. It'll bring up two tabs. Desktop when the mouse is not on it. Funny enough, hover when the mouse is hovering on it. Let's just make it orange when they hover on it. Okay. We'll just flip that back to desktop mode. And to keep this quick, let's just clone this twice. Drag one over, doesn't matter which one, they're identical. Left click on the little X, hold your mouse button down, release it where you want it. And we can go in here. I think this was information. And this one was FAQs, frequently asked questions. Great. So this is where we want to bring people back to when they go further down the site, in case they want to sign up for whatever it is you want them to sign up for. Okay, well, let's now create the little icons or buttons or however you want to do it to bring them back to this particular spot. So let's create another row. Click on the existing row. Hit the little green plus there. Add a new row. I'm going to put a single column on this row. I'm going to use icons for mine today. Let's roll down a little bit. Here's the icon. And let's see, we've got location. I think I use a little map pin for that. I'm going to go over to my design now. I'm going to use that same blue color for the icon. I'm going to click on the icon. I'm going to make it blue. Don't want mine quite as big as that. I think I used 50 last time. That's going to work for me. And we will give it a background just so you can see what's going on. I'll give it a black background initially. But I want the background to be rounded like the icon there. So to do that, we can go over to design and border. Make sure this is checked. It will be by default. It'll do all four at once if it's checked. Let's put in 50 and the % sign. That makes it round at the back there. Great. Now I've got that in there, I can change that color back to a white or whatever color you wanted. But I am going to take the opacity down slightly so that when it's rolling down the site, they'll get a hint of whatever is going on behind there through it. I'm also going to give it a couple pixel white border as well, with border right here. And again, just so you can see what's going on, I'll make it black initially. Take it up to 2 pixels. As you can see, it's got a 2 pixel black border there. I'm going to change that to white because we're going to position it over here. It's just something that if it happens to roll over something that's that blue color, you'll still be able to see it nicely. So let's change that to white too. Fantastic. Well, we've got our first one there. Now we want to link it to this section. We're going to use CSS IDs to do this so that when we roll down and this has gone up there, we've got our little icons and it will always pull this section back down like this. So like I say, we're using CSS IDs to do that. Let's just click. We'll go into the section, the blue tab. We'll give it a CSS ID by going over to Advanced, CSS IDs and Classes. Make sure you put this in the ID and not the class. I'm just going to call it sign, S-I-G-N, sign up or whatever you want to call yours. Make sure it's unique. There's nothing else with a CSS ID with this name in it on this page. Now we can link to it by going back to our little icon here. Go into the icon itself, down to the link under the content here. Now to link to a CSS ID, we need to put a hashtag, then the CSS ID name, sign. This, when we click on it now, will always roll to the top of this section. Great. Well, now we've got our first one there. It's going to make it a lot easier for us. Let's just go into this first one. And I'm going to duplicate it twice with little boxes. Obviously, for our example today, you can have 3 different links and take people to different places. But all of these, although they're going to be different icons, we'll just take them to this section because one's going to be location, one's going to be facts, and one's going to be information. Let's go into our second one there by clicking on it, hitting the little cog. Second one was frequently asked questions. Let's add a little question mark. There we go. And we've already got the link in there. Third one was going to be information. If we roll down again, there's the information. Fantastic. Well, let's save that. Now I want to put them up over here, but they're a little too far apart for me. And the row's got a bit of padding top and bottom. Just to show you what the row's doing, let's go into the row itself now, the green tab for the row. I'll throw a crazy color background in there. Let's put a red background in there. That's the size of our row at the moment. And we've got a bit of padding top and bottom. I don't want that. So let's take that away first thing by going to design. Padding's always in spacing. Just put a 0 in there. Takes it off the top, hit the chain, it'll take it off the bottom. Fantastic. Now let's make this row the actual size we want it, because when we put it over here, we don't want it coming across and interfering with people trying to click on stuff. So if we close up spacing, we can go into sizing just above it. We know these are sort of 50 or 51 or 52 with a border. Let's try making this 60 pixels wide. 60. It puts in the %. Let's try putting in px instead of % there. Fantastic. Great. Well, let's save that now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into each of these icons. Just click on it, go into the cog there. I'm going to go into the advanced. I'm going to go down to position. I'm going to put them into a fixed position. To do that, gone into position, I click on it, make it fixed. It looks like it's disappeared, but it's actually up under our header here. If we roll down a little bit, we've got vertical offset. Let's bring it down to, well, wherever it is you want it. I think mine will work around about there, maybe a little bit more. Now we're going to do the same thing for the next one. Click on it, click on the little cog, advanced, position, fixed, top left, and then vertical offset, bring it down to where you want it. Something like that. Yeah, I'm sure you know what we're going to do next. Go into that last one. We could hide these here, but we'd have a big old gap on the bottom of here, which I don't really want. Advanced, position, fixed. It's in the right place. Bring it on down to where you want it. Perfect. And we're left with a little red row there, which we really don't need. So if we click on that, we can't get rid of the row because they're actually still in there, even though they're in fixed position. But we can take that red background away. And we can also take any padding away, top and bottom, which we did already to make it skinny. Let's go in there, take that background away by just trashing it so you can't see a thing. Okay, next thing we want to do is we don't want to see those icons until that's rolled past up there. To do that while we're in the row, I'm going to go over to Advanced, to our scroll effects. Third one along is Fade In and Out. I'm going to enable it by clicking the switch here. And I really don't want to see these things until they get up 80% of the screen. So I don't want to see any of this until this has pretty much disappeared up the top here. Starting to work already, but they're coming in too quickly there. So we've got viewport bottom, that's bottom of the screen. Obviously viewport top is the top of the screen. And opacity is the amount of them you see. 0% is invisible, 100% is fully visible. So let's drag this one up. So it's right next door to this one. Maybe about 90%. Let's drag this one up to about 70% at the bottom of the viewport there. See what we got. We can always adjust it. And maybe drag that down to the middle, 85%. Now when we roll down, you can't see them. When this rolls off the screen, they're still coming in a little bit too fast. Let's move this up to 90. Move this up to 80. Obviously, adjust to taste. I think that's going to be okay. We'll make sure that their Z index is high so it stays on top of everything else. To do that, I'm going to let go of scroll effects. We're going to go into position just above it. Here you'll find Z index. I'm going to ramp it up all the way to 500. Or you can type in a crazy high number in there if you want to, just to make sure it's going to stay on top at all times. Now, if we've done everything correctly, this should now work for us. That's working. Let's hit the little purple button. We'll save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder. If we roll down the screen now, there's our little location, facts and information section. When it starts rolling off the screen, our icons are going to appear. They're going to stick there until the end of the site there. If we want to go back up there, we can click on any of these. It'll take us straight back up here, and those buttons will disappear. And of course, anywhere above, you won't see those buttons. And again, if we pull it down, they're going to appear there. So there you have it, guys. There's some interactive buttons to take you back to any section. Really easy to do. Really nice little interactive feature to have on your site. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. We'll make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie with System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.